Alright, so here's what I wish I knew in my 20s now that I've luckily made it to my 30s. Hi, my name is Dan Brock, the Deadbeat super affiliate from Deadbeat.com, and if you want to go from suits and commutes to earning online income while you snooze, then join the Deadbeat Revolution today by hitting that subscribe and bell notification button right now. Okay, so you gotta check this out. I found this video on my hard drive. This was from like 10 years ago, and I just had to show this. Alright, here we go. You ready? Boom. All right, I'm gonna play this in a second, but that is me about 21, 22 years old making my first video. And boy, do I look stoned. Probably was. So let's play that right now. Boom.
Hello, this is Dan Brock from List Building Samurai. I just wanted to start out by quickly thanking you for purchasing my course and investing your time and your hard-earned money in my training material. I wouldn't be anywhere without my customers, so thank you very much for investing in my course. So let's just get to it. Let's get started. So there's, oh, by the way, I made a nice little thank you image here. Took some time to create that for you. I hope you enjoy.
All right, so how embarrassing was that video? Now, what I want to point out though is, yes, it was bad, but incrementally I got better and better and better. And that leads me into this story. So there I was, second grade, and as I looked around, I noticed a lot of my classmates would say things like, when I get rich, I'm going to buy a Lamborghini, or when I grow up, I'm going to buy a Ferrari. Now, then I started noticing as we drive down the road or whatever, that as I looked out the window, I've never seen a Lamborghini or Ferrari before in my life. So that's when it clicked. I was like, not everyone gets a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. So as my classmates would tell me about their parents, you know, the jobs they do, that's when I really started to think, their parents don't have Ferraris or Lambos. That means if you get a job, you can't get either of those. So that's when I was like, all right, the only way to get this is if I take my destiny into my own hands. And for some reason, I just knew it had to be through a business. All right, now that leads me to this point. When you spend a good amount of time going after a goal and you finally achieve that goal, you expect that you'll be met with admiration and love and all that good stuff that you see in TV when people become successful. But in reality, what you're met with is hatred. All right, and this is because all wrapped around envy. All right, I have a video about that. I'm not going to talk too much about that in this video, but what I want to say is that your current friend group, if they are not progressing and going towards a certain goal, if they are going out and defiling themselves with drugs, alcohol, all that stuff, if they are unable to care for themselves, how are they going to care for you? If they've shown that they are willing to destroy themselves, aren't they likely to also destroy you? All right, that's the reality of it. So what I've learned is a couple things. You either have to step up your friend group as you succeed more and more, so change friends. And I know that sounds very crude, but that's the only way to get by it. Or number one, don't have friends at all. All right, I look back, all my high school friends, college friends, I haven't hung out with them in years. I'm way happier because of it. And because when I look back, the time I spent with them, not only was it a waste of time, but I was inflicted with so much damage that it really set me back and capped the potential that I could have in my lifetime. Now, all my fault, of course. I'm not blaming them. But what I'm getting at is that this is one of the things you have to be on guard for at your age if you're 20. Okay, and point number two, this flows into the next step, and that is, what do you do then? If you don't want to hang out with friends, who do you talk to? Who do you get your information from? And what I think you should do is make friends with the eminent dead. So check out this quote. This is Einstein, great person, super smart dude, as we all know. The quote goes like this. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. The mediocre mind is incapable of understanding the man who refuses to bow blindly to the conventional prejudices and chooses instead to express his opinions courageously and honestly. All right, so where I'm going with this is there are people who have already been through these type of things. Successful, very great people who you can learn from. So what that means is you should make these people your friends. Now, how do you do that? Well, you can read their autobiographies, their biographies, anything they've ever written. Consume their mind. You can literally consume the way they think by reading and studying each person. All right, people that I like, Abe Lincoln, John D. Rockefeller, Warren Buffett, he's still alive. If you want to acquire wealth, doesn't it make sense to study the people who have actually done it? Or if you want to become a great person like Abe Lincoln, doesn't it make sense that you would peer into his mind to try to make that part of your own? So looking back, I wish I would have done that a lot more. And before we jump into number three, you got to check this out. All right. Boom. new robe rack. Monday robe, Tuesday robe, Wednesday robe, Thursday robe. Got the Friday robe on now, Saturday robe, and Sunday robe. It is a Deadbeat revolution, guys. So that reminds me also, if you haven't joined the Deadbeat Revolution Facebook group, just type in Deadbeat Revolution on Facebook, filter by groups, hit the join button, and I'll see you inside there. Okay, and that leads right to point number 3. I wish I would have spent a lot more time learning how to sell, both with writing and verbally and on video. So one thing I'm doing to really catch up now is I'm binge watching, so to speak, binge reading various copywriting books. I want to get a lot better at my word usage and selling things. This is a great book, by the way, Triggers by Joseph Sugarman. It's a bit of a beginner book, but it's helped me a lot to kind of reread and remind myself of those principles. So if you want to start learning that, that's a great book. And here's the reason why I think that's true. Regardless of what you do today, whether it's an online business, you want to get a job, you're literally selling every single second of the day. And what do I mean by that? Well, every blog post you write, every word you write, you are basically selling the person to listen to your next sentence. So you have to constantly sell. Same with video. The key is to get people to listen to each word you say so that at the end, they buy the things that you want them to buy or they take the actions that you want them to do. So it is a skill that you must hone in to get people's attention. Now think of it this way. Let's say you have a competitor, you guys are neck and neck. Let's just go with YouTube as an example. You both are in the same space, you both have 100,000 subscribers, the same amount of influence, so to speak, but you are better at selling. Doesn't that give you a massive, massive competitive edge that is not easy to acquire? See, selling and writing, it's kind of boring. It's kind of boring, but it's one of those things that just gives you a massive advantage in the marketplace. So doesn't it make sense just to spend an hour a day honing that skill? Okay, and now moving on to point number 4. Yes, there is more, and that is I would have spent more time encouraging good habits when I was younger. See, your 20s, as far as money is concerned, everything in your life has compounding interest to it. Same with your habits, whether it be bad or good, they all have a compounding effect. Now, what I mean by this is when you're younger, it's very easy to say, I'll take care of this tomorrow. I'll take care of it next week. I'm still young, I got plenty of time. But that's not the truth. The truth is you have to set yourself up correctly in your 20s if you want to live a great life in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Like I said, it's not a 1-for-1 exchange. It's usually a 1-for-5 or even 10 exchange. Now where I'm going with this is like, say you have a problem with drinking, for example. Each day that you drink, it means it's going to take you 3, 5, or even 10 days to balance off that one day of bad habits. You're going to have to form new habits. All of this takes a lot of work, and the more you cement those in your 20s, both good and bad, the harder it is to break that particular habit. See, Warren Buffett, I think, is the one who says this, the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. All right, I find that to be true. And that leads me to tip number 5, mastering money. See, money is very, very hard to hold on. It is mercurial. It is meant to change hands. So it takes a particular mindset, skill, and experience to get good at not only keeping money, but learning how to multiply that money. Now, this is something that can take you 5, 10 years to really get good at, or you could try to binge watch or binge read various investing things, take classes, etc. So where I'm going with this is that early on, that money that you have, if you look 50 years from now, if you invest that properly, it's going to pay off tenfold. But not only that, the skills that you acquire too, along with that. So they say you should invest in yourself constantly. That doesn't just mean read books or get skills. It also means you should take your money, invest it into things you know you have control over. Like, for example, your personal brand. Wouldn't it be important to start creating a YouTube channel now, or creating a blog, or even building up your Facebook presence? Because isn't it true that if you have that personal brand, if you have that recognition, no matter what you do from this point forward, whether you do a business or you have your own career, you're going to be way better off by having that asset in place to start building a name for yourself. And you can do that for free right now online. All right, I have various videos, by the way, about that. I think top right here, there'll be a card you can click to learn how to start building your YouTube presence and all that good stuff. Okay, so those are the 5 things that I wish I knew. There are some smaller bits in here, but I think that if you master what I just talked about, you will be leagues ahead of everyone else, and your life will be way better. Don't we all deserve that? I think every single one of you deadbeats out there deserves a better and greater life. It all starts right now, especially if you're young. Start getting all of this in place right now. Okay, so I'm curious to know, what are some, looking back on your life, whether you're 50, 60, 20, or whatever it is, 5 years before, 10 years prior to this, what are some of the bad habits that you formed, or some of the things that you wish you would have known if you were able to go back and start all over again? Wouldn't you be much better off? Well, I'm curious to know what those things are. Comment below, share those with me. I'm curious just to read. If I can learn anything from you and your experience, that'd be awesome. And in addition, if you found value in this video, give me some of that YouTube lovin', hit that like button, and subscribe to the Deadbeat Revolution today. My name is Dan Brock, the Deadbeat super affiliate from deadbeat.com. And by the way, check out my previous video. It should pop up right here. This is about making $25 to $75 an hour with a very interesting and weird side gig that you can start honing in right now today. And also there is the subscribe button. Join the Deadbeat Revolution today. It is time for me to go take a nap. I'll see you deadbeats later.